right, well, we're here with Anya, who's a super awesome YouTuber artist, and we're going to get into it. This is episode 10. We did 10 podcasts. Woo!
Woo! I'm number 10.
It's sort of a celebration.
It is a celebration. I'm
Yeah.
so happy to be number 10.
Well, we're happy you're here, and this is awesome. But
This is awesome.
for people watching, we don't know each other.
We don't.
And
We
we-
have met today. We're complete strangers.
First time today, but I've seen you, and it's funny because we have mutual friends, Fritz, who was on the podcast. Also, you know Catherine, right? Catherine Cars?
I do know her.
And she's my OG homie. I have the biggest crush on her. That doesn't get reciprocated, but I'm kidding. No, I love her, and like we went to Parsons together. Why is that funny?
No,
Why
I
is
really
that-
love your vulnerability.
Yeah, I love Catherine. I
Yeah.
support her. She makes awesome videos. Anyway, it's not like some weird. Anyways, moving forward, Fritz was like, yeah, we're chilling with this girl Anya, and I was like, Anya, and then they showed me a picture of you. I'm like, oh my god, that's the
Anya.
Bob Ross German exchange student girl.
That's me.
And I don't mean to like define you like that, but like
No,
I've
I
seen
love
your
hearing.
videos. Like I used to watch your videos, and I've seen them from like years ago when they came out, and so I was like, oh my god, that's crazy. She's in New York. That's so awesome.
Okay, it is so funny that you said, "Oh, I used to watch your videos," because that's something I've been seeing a lot on the internet recently. Like TikToks, people are like, "Oh my gosh, I used to watch your videos," and it really hit me. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like I've come out of that phase
Right.
of where like there were these big hitting moments,
Mhm.
and that people were like totally there for it. And now when they see me, they reminded me of like that.
Yeah,
I'm
I didn't
like,
mean
oh,
that in a bad
no,
way, like
no,
I
no.
used to, and we still watch your
No,
videos.
it's like an
still do.
encouraging thing. Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh my gosh, like it shows I'm in a different phase of things, where it's like they used to.
Okay,
But
we're
it's
gonna get into
okay.
that. Oh, that's juicy. I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah,
But what I'm
yeah.
saying is like it was recommended to me. Like I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like I don't watch
And
much
I remember
TV.
seeing your videos, like your portraits and everything. I was like, I know him.
Hell
I know
yeah.
who that is.
All right, so
Yeah,
it goes
he's
both
here,
ways.
and what? And I first like heard that you were in New York through Kat.
hmm
She was like, oh my gosh, like he's.
She didn't say she had a big crush on me, right?
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
She was like,
That's
yeah,
fine.
he's here, and like he makes art too.
Mhm.
Like I was like, oh cool. Yeah, nothing about the crush though.
That's fine. We'll kind of drop that. Maybe we'll edit that out. Maybe we'll leave it. But and I meant that by saying because like your videos were so big, and like I wasn't like searching Anya. I was just like looking, and
Yeah.
YouTube recommended to me, and I
Yeah.
watched all of them, and it was awesome. But so other than that, I don't want to pigeonhole you, and like we kind of talk about what artists do, and maybe the millions of people watching don't really know what you do. So can you maybe give us like a synopsis, elevator pitch of what you do? Your art, your channel, you making videos.
Okay.
Real quick, no pressure.
Okay. Yeah, but ask this question. Actually, I've never had to answer this question
It's
until
kinda hard.
Well, until the summer,
Okay.
because you go to events and people are like, "Hey, who are you?" I'm like, "I'm Anya. What's your name?"
Mhm.
Well, not that awkward. A little better. and then they're like, "Okay," and then they get to the juicy stuff like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "Okay, what do I do?" So I've rehearsed this at events, parties. Let me go. Okay, what I do, I'm a YouTuber. I started off making art videos, but that kind of faded into more so vlogs, and then I did my exchange year in Germany and made videos about my experience there, and then I moved here, and now I just make like little life things, little videos.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Not so much the artist thing, unfortunately, which is really sad to think about, because when people do ask me like, "Oh, what do you do?" like, saying I'm an artist doesn't come to mind, and that's something
Really?
I always envisioned for myself, like, "Oh, I'm an artist," but I haven't consistently made art in forever.
Wow.
So it's kind of like it hits me, and I'm like, "Oh gosh," like that reminds me, like I want to work on that, like I need to be an artist again.
Right.
Like concerning painting and things.
Totally. But like the generic content of the videos you make is kind of you would say. Like it's like
Yeah.
lifestyle vloggy,
Yeah, now
young
it is.
adult, went to Germany and now live in the
Germany.
city.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like, I mean, I think that's awesome. And one of the things I've written down here, which I want to talk about, is like, because that's what I was like, oh, what are we going to talk about with Anya? Because she does a little of everything, but it's like, you're kind of like in this realm of just like, you make videos about you,
yeah.
which has no category, but it's just everything you're up to, and
Yeah.
people want
And
to
that was
follow
the
you
goal,
for
yeah.
yeah.
Because it started out with the art, and then I like thought to myself like, okay, people are gonna think of me and they're gonna think of the art, but I want people to be that I'm able to upload like a lot of different things and people will be interested.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started uploading like more so like vlogs and just things that were inspiring me. And And those videos don't do as well, but I know the people that do watch it really appreciate it.
Totally.
So, yeah, I would say now it's whatever, floating around.
And you took like not a pretty big hiatus, but you didn't upload for like 4 months, right, over the summer, which is like,
yeah.
Was that really nice and wonderful? I was like jealous. I was like, shit.
Well, I am really, here's the funny thing, is this is also the, okay, you're going to have to, like, nothing's making sense. The funny, wait.
You got it.
I gotta recoup my thought.
Recoup.
You were talking about the break. Oh.
I brought that out of left field.
Yeah.
You know?
I totally ended up here by chance and feel totally blessed to be doing what I'm doing because I could take a break like that. And it wasn't really intentional. It's just that I am really inconsistent. And that's like my biggest downfall when it comes to like being a creator is I am not consistent at doing things. So yeah, there was a 4-week break in there. There's like a few week breaks here and there. And like they're unintentional. They just kind of happen, unfortunately. But yeah, there was a big break. But I'm back on it, actually. I brought my camera here today. I forgot I'm even still filming.
And like before, we were supposed to come on the show a few weeks ago, or a week ago, and me and Chris watched every single one of your videos, every minute. And then this morning, we watched your video that you just uploaded. Thank you. And it was so awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm back on the grind.
You're back on the grind. But can you tell me, maybe again, this is like overarching, because I'm interested. I don't even know each other. But like we're in the same world making YouTube videos. I'm not as personal about my life. It's sort of like art centric. Yeah. But like when you have an idea for a video, like what goes through your mind? It's like, oh, I'm just gonna show them what I'm doing there, or do you have like some sort of narrative? Like this is because this video upload today was like so beautiful. It was about your trip. It was narrated gorgeusly. Me and Chris were kind of gawking at it, like, oh.
Okay, good. I'm glad that was like portrayed through the video.
Oh, it was, and also because we watched like a lot of your videos from like 2 years ago to now, the change and like what were you saying, Chris? Like growing with the video.
Yeah, you're like maturing as a person and your videos too.
Thank you. Yeah, I would say that really shows through the videos. I like to like have the growth along with me.
It does.
I forgot your question.
The question, it was like, how do you frame a video? Like what do you get inspired by, and then what like how do you go about making? How
I started doing it, and this is something that I really miss, is I would just do it because it was fun, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna pull out a camera and say whatever stuff comes. Can we swear?
Yep.
Okay. I usually don't swear on the interweb, but this is gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice.
Me neither. We both have like family friendly channels, but no rules on this one. Poop, fart, pee.
There might a few naughty words might slip through. Wait, this is nice. This is also gonna be adding to the growth of my presence on the internet.
Well,
curse words.
I wouldn't speak too soon. You're probably gonna help us more than work.
Wait, now that like I'm like hyping up me saying a swear word, I'm like, oh gosh, now it's gonna sound awkward.
Yeah.
And like I regularly swear, but now I'm like, oh gosh, now what I'm gonna say, I could be like, oh shit, and then it's gonna be like, wait, what did she say? That sounded weird.
That's so improper of you.
Oh god. Okay. Wait, what was the question?
Video.
Again? Oh yeah, so it started out just like funsies. And then unfortunately when like there's pressure, and I miss it so much when it was just like you were doing something because you were having fun and it wasn't serious and you didn't think about like analytics,
pure passion.
Yeah, what like your strategy is, or like brand, and how are we gonna what like angle are we gonna take with this, like that stuff really like fogs it all up. And I think that's why I had to take breaks, is just because like my mindset became so different from what it initially was. And it initially was just like funsies. I liked to paint. I liked to be weird in front of a camera and just like say stupid stuff. And then suddenly it was, I have this expectation I'm going to try to meet up to.
This is after your channel blew up.
Yeah.
From like you had a couple huge viral videos.
I didn't even realize at the time how huge it was, because it went from nothing to everything in a week. Literally a week. I graduated high school. I'm so happy it happened after I graduated high school, so I didn't have to like see anyone. Because I had a few encounters with people, and it was just kind of like awkward, because they were like, "Oh, Anya, YouTuber." I was like, that's nice, but I was like, okay. So I was kind of happy that I was out of school when that happened. But I graduated, and then my video, I actually took that video down, but it was me following the Bob Ross tutorial on my bedroom wall. It was like a wintry scene. In a week, it was 100 subscribers of just like families, friends, people at school, to 100,000.
Yeah.
And at the time, like, that's just like that was so out of my mind that I didn't even realize like how big of a deal that was and like how impactful. And now, like, looking back, I'm like, I really could have utilized it for so much more because I didn't know. Like,
You could always look back and say that though.
yeah, true. So I could have, but I didn't realize how big that was. At the
Because
time.
you were so young, like you were in high school, your agenda was never to like be some viral
Yeah.
influencer. So that's why I think it's so interesting in that it seems like you miss those pure days. And I talk about the pure days also, and specifically kind of like making art, because now it's like the business and like you said, all the rigmarole of like trying to get viewership and do well if you spend so much time making a video. But like for my art specific, it's like now sometimes I get lost in the sauce of, will this be a good video for my painting, rather than just painting exactly what I want. And it's really sad and toxic, actually.
Yeah, it's not such a tasty sauce.
No.
Not a tasty sauce at
bitter.
all. Super bitter.
Bitter sauce.
And it really like it brings this like ick inside of you when you're creating things, and it like takes you away from just like making something that you enjoy.
Right.
It's really sad, and like you lose the attention. You lose the intention of those things.
But I do think it's a balance. See, like I'm on the other side also, because like I think you should be smart as a businesswoman or a businessman. And if you have this opportunity and you also can support yourself through it, like I think it's smart too, you know, like let's penetrate the things that will make it better and get viewership while also, you know, fulfilling my creative desires and needs.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree. And it's a hard balance. It's a hard balance to find, because you can get really caught up in like, oh, are people going to like this? Does this look good? Like, do I sound okay? Or just like doing it because you enjoy it.
All of the above. But what about, so specifically,
there are so many ideas that are popping into my mind.
I'm really happy about that. No,
and then like, I'm like, oh my gosh, should I talk about that, or should I talk about that? And then whatever comes out, I'm not sure is making any sense.
Well, the rule is talk about whatever you ever want. I'm here to sort of navigate a little and pry.
Ooh, okay.
So here's my next pry. I want to talk about like mental health and you being so personal with yourself.
Yeah.
Because I don't do that at all. And also I think people love that. Like being extremely vulnerable with your mental health or what you're going through, or with your boyfriend, or the emotions you feel when you move to Germany. Yeah. So were you always some sort of person like that? Like
I do it because it's actually easier than not talking about that stuff, because this is stuff that's on my mind all the time, and it just makes up who I am. Okay. And I think it would be harder to like harness and focus on one part of my life than everything. So it's pretty easy for me. Like actually like holding that stuff back is really hard. I would rather talk about it than not, because the way I view my like relationship on the internet, really, I want to be personal, and I want to be someone that is creating a connection deeper than just like, oh, this is like a lifestyle I'm living, or this is, oh, life is so pretty, look at this, like pretty pictures. Like that is so boring to me, and that's something that like I grew up seeing all the time, and actually had like a really negative impact on me. And it depends like what corner of the internet you end up on, but like growing up, like the corner of the internet that I grew up on was all like I don't know, just like people trying to like look pretty and do this and that, and like have this facade that they're living into. And like that's fine, like the internet isn't real and we know that, but we can forget that. And so like that is something that I want to bring into the internet, is like, oh, we are all real, and this is just what's on my mind, and this is what I'm doing. Right. So that's easier for me than to not do it.
That's interesting, because I think for a lot of people it's actually not easier, and like people really do struggle talking about how they feel. Well, in general, mental health, but let alone blasting on the internet. You know, you still have to edit the video after you share something.
Yeah, I usually start crying. Like if there's like a sensitive part of me that I'm like editing, I like cry with myself. I'm like, Anya, this is so sad, as I'm editing. I'm like, I'm so sorry for you. Yeah.
But that's nice, because like I think it's funny how you were talking about how like back in the day maybe it was all vacation vloggers, food, you know, I'm so happy, forced positivity. But I think now actually conversely is that people want the real. And people are able to, you know, notice when things are bullshit or there's a facade, and like people really just want to follow real people. And so I think that, not that like that's part of your strategy, but like it really helps you, and not only for a super authentic like fanship, but also it's really easy to be yourself, because that's all you can be, right? And that's wonderful, I think.
You summed that up beautifully. That was great to hear.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But I'm serious, because like again, not to bring it back on me, but I don't really be very personal in my videos. It's actually not at all. It's like my art and like that's the content. And yeah, I'm trying to be fun personality, but what I'm trying to do more and with Chris and we're making videos is like be more personable and just be myself. And that's why this podcast is fun for me because I can dick around. I can say really crazy random things like the whole Catherine thing that we're going to clip. No, I'm kidding. But like, I always took myself too seriously, I think, in my videos. Yeah. And I was just talking about Chris to this and I was like, I hate it. And like, I want to be taken seriously as an artist. I want to be like portrayed as like, look at I know and all, whatever. But, and like, I could never, maybe it was like me being reserved and not vulnerable or nervous about people judging me, but like I was never able to like just like be wackadoodle and everything.
And that's the crazy thing is like a lot of times with like it will be yourself holding yourself back with like those types of things. Like I don't know, have you like ever received negative feedback from like being more open and outgoing?
Not really.
Probably not.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting to think about. It's like, who's holding me back? Like it's just me.
Good call.
So yeah, that's what I think. Like a lot of times I'm like, oh no, people are gonna think this is stupid or like this or that or like, do I look like this? I'm like, who's saying that? I mean, at least my side of the internet, people are so nice.
I guess you're right.
And I'm like, no one's ever said that to me. Like, where is this idea coming from? I might as well just do it. And also, like, it's funny watching like other people like now being in New York and be amongst other creators and people like in the active things and people like, oh, like my friend asked me like, she's like, oh, does that look stupid or awkward? Like, do I look dumb? I'm like, even if you do, like, no one really cares.
No one cares.
Yeah, and like people would appreciate it more if you like do look like you're like messing up and you're just like, ah,
yep,
it happened.
100%. And like that's funny because that's also sort of my rule now is to try to help me to be more whatever, or like remove the reservations is like the mantra of no one cares. Social media, people are flipping through so fast.
Yeah,
they maybe watch your videos and are fans of you, but then they're watching 100 more videos. So it's like you're right. You're totally right. So I'm the only one removing myself. But kind of on that, again, on this vulnerable tip, what about being like a female on social media? Now it's more popular, but when you started in 2019, and even now, I think the percentage, I don't know the actual facts, but like there's totally way less female creators. I think that's a fact.
I didn't even know that. No, I like never really thought about like my place as a female on YouTube.
So let's talk about it then.
The social realm. I don't even know what I have to add to it because I like never really thought about it.
Yeah, well, I think first of all, in just people watching YouTube videos, I think it's predominantly males. I mean, maybe it's 60-40, maybe it's 70-30. It's not like 90-10, but yeah, I think also for sure there's less female creators. And when female creators like do, you know, start putting out work, they do really well because there's not a lot of them. And like take this with a grain of salt, everyone, because I could be wrong, but I think that's true. And maybe if you have nothing to say about it, that's fine. But I was just wondering, have you ever thought about that?
No. And
being a young female adult, like
I never really thought about it. I'm just like, oh, I'm just so happy. Honestly, I'm just like, I'm so grateful I get to be here. This is fun. Also, I think like the corner of the internet that I'm on is like mostly women. Like I watch all female YouTubers for the most part. That kind of make similar videos as I do. So I just like, I'm just kind of in like the girl scene of the internet anyways. So I'm just like, oh, so many girls.
Yeah. That was an open-ended question, but I guess you solved it. But yeah, I didn't know if you ever thought about that. And because
I bet there's like a lot of good things to say about it, but it doesn't really cross my mind.
We had a couple girls on here before, like Catherine. I don't know if I asked her that specifically, but you know, I don't know many other female creators or female YouTubers. Not to give you that title, but so I just was curious. But that's interesting. So you watch like a lot of like. What female creators do you watch? Like glam style videos, other lifestyle vloggers?
I like videos that are similar to mine where it's kind of just like raw life, like daily stuff and like
aesthetic.
Yeah. Just like cutesy little things and people like just talking about their feelings. Leah's Field Notes. I watch her videos. She's actually going to be visiting New York soon. That's going to be so fun. So I'm going to meet her finally.
Sweet.
Who else? I really like her videos. Honestly, I have a terrible brain with like names. Like there's so many people that I'm invested in, and then I am definitely like I like, but I don't remember their names, and they're not coming to mind. But I do watch her. So
now I got you thinking like, oh, I'm a female creator. What do I do? I didn't mean to like.
I just like it never crossed my mind, which actually I think is somewhat of a privilege to think that like that doesn't cross my mind because that could be something that like could be viewed as like a setback or like a challenge.
Yeah, I don't know.
And the fact that like it hasn't crossed my mind like, oh, this is what I do and it's great and I'm happy to be here. It's kind of cool that I don't know if that makes sense.
No, completely. And that's like, that was maybe what I was trying to get at by asking the most generic question, but that's awesome. But yeah, that could be true. And maybe I should have asked Catherine, because it's interesting. And I told my younger sister like to start making videos and stuff like that. And because it's like relatability, I think. It's like what people are after these days. And like, especially if you're making like lifestyle vlogs, like of course you could follow anyone that's interesting if you're into them, but like especially on the internet there's so many young kids, and to see another person that's like them that's doing the same things, it's like super interesting. You hear those sirens?
I do hear the sirens. They sound like they're in like another world, but they're here.
Seems like they're inside us.
Yeah, they're like right here.
We're in Brooklyn.
I have so many thoughts that are coming to mind.
Rip
and then
them.
I
Go
lose
ahead.
them. Well, then I forget them.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I'm not the best one to be on a podcast because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so funny and cool, and I should talk about it, and then I forget.
This has already been so fun.
Oh my god, I needed like, there were so many cool things I could have said. Oh, okay.
Like what?
Okay, you mentioned that you like.
This isn't a test. It's only gonna live on the internet forever and ever and ever.
Forever and ever and ever. That's a funny thing. Is that was like a threat I heard from adults growing up. They're like, be careful about the internet.
Right?
What you put up there is gonna be there forever. And now we're like, yeah.
I hope so.
Like, do we care? Like, is it that big of a deal? But like adults back when I was in the 6th grade, they're like, be careful with that Snapchat.
Before the internet was like, you know, normalized. It's like
literally our life. Yeah, they're like, oh, be so.
And it bites a lot of people in the ass, honestly.
It does.
Who knows? Maybe we'll run for office or something, and we'll just get screwed over by all these videos. By you saying shit right now.
Shit. they're gonna look back on this and be like, nah, that is a sign of a terrible leader. Will not be able to do anything.
But that maybe the world will be so different they want that type of leader. Anyways,
maybe they want people.
I love the idea of everything on the internet forever, because I've said this before and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but for my art and like my process videos, like it's a living archival process forever, which is awesome.
That is so awesome. Also, I was thinking of like how there's these photographers that were capturing like bands and artists back in like the like 70s and 80s and 90s, and we look back at that, I'm like, oh my gosh, they were amongst all these like monumental people and moments. And then for some reason I'm like, that I don't think that could be happening right now, but that totally is happening right now. And people are documenting like these cool people and moments right now. And like we get to be a part of it. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it's like a selfish thing. I've like, for my family, like if something happens to me, or if when I'm 80, hopefully the internet will still be normal and you could just look back on the discography of your life, you know, from graduating high school to now and forevermore. And same with me, like almost the first painting I ever did in my life, I recorded it. Everything in here has been a video, so it's like my whole artistic like arsenal is documented, and that's cool for me in a selfish way. But I like that idea.
How is it looking back at like older videos of you doing things? Like, what does it remind you of?
Well, it's very nostalgic, and what you hit it on the head before. It's like my channel didn't really get a mini pop or whatever for a really long time. And I took it really seriously for like 3.5, 4 years, like a part-time job. Because I loved it. I love video, maybe you realized, and like also painting and documenting everything. I always documented my friends. So I took it, and those were like, I look back and those videos, like that big painting over there, that's like my tattoo. It was so pure because no one was watching my videos. I wasn't making money. I was literally just like, what's the coolest shit I can make? And what's the coolest video I can make? And then that's it. That was the only agenda. And it's still like that a little now, but it's, you know, you can never go back to that because there's so much more involved. But that's how I look back at it. But
so much more noise, so much more playing parts that you got to mess with. Kind of gets in the way, but it's cool too.
What about your old videos? We have, we were looking, there's like, you were so hyper in a few of your videos. It's so funny.
It's so funny looking back.
Not a bad thing at all.
It reminds me of just like how I used to be. And also the craziest thing that it reminds me is like literally all we have is right now, because like all those things that I say in past videos and like ideas that I've had or things that I've done, I can't think of right now. Like I can't remember them unless I go back and watch the video.
Interesting.
And I'm like, wow, like all I've got is right now, because I don't remember all this stuff that I've done, even though I like edited this video for 20 hours and like it was a chunk of my life. Like I don't remember anything from it. So it's really cool to look back on that and like see myself in those moments.
It's not even that long ago. Like you started uploading in 2019?
Yeah.
Like that is not that long ago.
No, it feels forever
I
ago.
bet, but yeah,
Maybe
that's
my
crazy.
memory is just so bad because I look back and I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
I was doing that? I don't remember that at all. So it's nice to have just like
That
jog
is.
my memory that
No, I
things
hear
are
you.
happening. But there was something that you mentioned earlier. You said like encouraging your sister to make videos.
Or TikToks or just have fun with the content.
Yeah. I get that a lot where people come to me and they're like giving me ideas of what to make or things they want to do, and they're like, oh my gosh, how do you do it? Like I've got like really close people in my life. They're like, oh, I'm gonna start making videos now. This is something I totally want to do. Like I'm gonna become so great. It's gonna be so fun. And it kind of makes me really sad because I hear that and
I hate that.
the chances are they won't.
Oh, 100%.
But they're telling me like it's so enthusiastically. They're like, I'm gonna be
Really?
doing it now. Like, oh, I've got all these fun ideas, and I'm like, if you're coming to me and talking about it, I don't think you are actually going to be doing it.
Yeah, don't tell me, show me, and let's see. But yeah, no, it is a bummer.
The sad thing too, and like it's really a big part of our generation is we have so many TikToks about it, like people talking about like strategy and like, oh, how you can become TikTok famous or how you can do this, and like people are going into creating without the intention of creating, but to like become something.
Oh, 1,000%.
And have a certain status instead of just enjoying the process. And that's really cool to hear that you were like making videos for like 4 or 5 years seriously and like nothing was coming out of it, but you did it because you had fun.
Yeah.
And I think like those, like that's the type of person where something will happen for you because you're going to keep pushing just because you have fun. Like you're not stressing out about if you're going to reach this certain point.
I agree.
And that was me. I was super fortunate. I uploaded like 5 videos before I had that one that blew up.
That's crazy.
But
yeah.
I don't know if I really would have like pushed through the end if like something like that hadn't happened for me. But I remember telling myself, I was like, I'm going to do this for 1 more year, like upload like at least 50 videos. I like only recently reached 50 videos because I'm so inconsistent. But
that's a milestone.
Yeah, it's something. 50 videos.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna do that, and if it's like hasn't like if I don't see that it's bringing me anything more or like it's holding me back, then I won't continue. But I'm gonna at least do that because I enjoy it. And it obviously did, which I think was a good mindset to have. Like, not that I wasn't looking to have this certain like viewership or fans or people that like loved me like that. That I just don't think is the best motivator.
Well, it's like the worst agenda because it will set you up for failure.
It will.
You nailed it on the head. And that's not, I'm not tooting my own horn, but like the only reason for whatever success is because I just was obsessed with it for me. I had no, of course a pipe dream was like, I could make money by this. That would be epic. But like that wasn't in the books for like years and years and years of doing it.
I didn't even fathom like making money from it.
Oh yeah.
I remember like my first like video, like getting good views and that I could like make money from after that. It was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like what?
Especially at 18, 19. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine.
Like, I'm making money from this? This is so cool.
Bunch of cheddar.
It was really cool. Well, actually the really, really sad thing is, and this like had a little bit of a sting inside me, but I think it was a good learning lesson as well, is that the first video that went viral of mine, where I went from like 100 subscribers to 100,000, I had used a guy's song.
Oh, so you got demonetized?
But the backstory is kind of sad because I like understood like, okay, if I use someone's song and it gets a copyright, like I'm not going to make a cent off of it. I knew that. But I didn't really know all the processes of it and like what type of like checklist I had to have. So I had messaged him on Instagram first and I was like, hi, like I love your song so much. He was a smaller artist. I found him from SoundCloud. That's what I do pretty regularly.
Nice.
Is like find artists from SoundCloud, and then if it gets a copyright strike, I DM them to whitelist it and like have all their socials. And like that's what I messaged him, but I didn't know about like whitelisting videos so that it would be cool for me. And I was like, oh, can I use your song? He's like, yeah, that's totally fine. Go ahead. I was like, okay, great. Like this artist that I really love, he's letting me use his song. That's so nice. So I put it in the background, like nice background music. I upload the video. My channel wasn't monetized, so I didn't even know if it was like copyright strike or not or whatever. And then it blows up. And I'm like, oh shit, like I can make money off of this.
Yeah.
And then I see that his video, it's copyrighted. And so then I message him like, hi, like you gave me permission to use your video or use your music, like any way that we could like split the money that you're making off of it or anything like that. And he sent me a message. It was very long-winded. He was kind of rude. He was like, just as a recommendation from an artist to an artist, you should stop leeching off other artists like my music and Bob Ross and continue doing your own thing. and he completely ignores my request just to maybe split like that.
Wait, but that money went to him?
That's what I think.
I don't think so. I just think you can't make money.
So where does it go?
No one makes money. There's
no one makes money?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Man.
That would be crazy if everyone who got copyrighted the original would
That's
go
what
to
I
them.
thought.
I don't think so. I could be wrong. Chris, do you know? I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah, it really broke my heart because that video.
But tell that guy, whoever, if you're watching, kick rocks, dude. Like,
he was really rude to me. And I like, honestly, at this point, like, I was planning on still going to college. Like, I didn't have anything saved up. College is ridiculously expensive. Like, I saw this as like my lottery ticket. I was like, holy shit, like,
for sure. This
is totally gonna help me with school. And he sends me this whole message. I'm like, dude, like, I'm just trying to like put this in my savings account for school. Like, it brings tears to my eyes because he was so rude to me. And like, I did all the steps I thought were right. So once
you asked him, what more could you do?
Right. And it really, like, I remember talking to someone like, legally, he wasn't allowed to give me permission because he didn't have the copyright ownership over it. So he should have even told me that. Yeah, it was pretty sad for me. But once the video reached like 15 million views, or I don't like 14, but like, and that's the thing that was also so sickening is
that's so much money. I bet your RPM was great also. And
I know.
We're talking tech YouTube here, people, but like that is like, well, not life changing, but close to it. It would 15 million views. I don't even know if my channel has 15 million views. I'm not even kidding. My whole channel.
Right? Yeah, it really hurt. It really, really hurt. So the sad thing was like the video got to like 1 million. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even fathom this. Like 1 million people watched me and they like it, and also like comments coming in. And this is the also such a sad thing is become desensitized towards people's approval and like admiration towards you. Like back then, getting a comment of someone be like, oh, I love your work, like this is so inspiring, you're doing amazing, like it hit deep. I'm like, someone's like taking their time to write this and say this about me, and now it's just turned into like words from the void. I'm just like, oh, nice, okay, cool.
Well, it's almost like, and I said this, like the really positive happy comments and the negative ones are almost the same. You just take them all with a grain of salt, and they're all like, fleeting from the void. Like,
and like it's literally people like, I hardly write comments on YouTube. I don't know if I should be admitting that. I don't write comments.
When I love a video, I'm like, dude, this video was
so good,
amazing.
That is so good.
But only for like the really good ones.
The really good ones. Maybe that's the mindset other people have, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, let's write her something." And I'm like, someone's taking time out of their day and they're writing this, and I'm just like,
no, it's nice. People keep
words
commenting
from the void.
Nice things.
But I'm like, no, this should really be hitting deep, but like it's a lot.
Well, it's all relative. If you're a small YouTuber and you get 10 nice comments, that's probably like makes you feel so good. But if you're getting 15 million views now and thousands of people are commenting, like, yeah, you got to take it all.
Yeah, it was very overwhelming in the beginning. But yeah, then I eventually took the video down because it was like 1 million views, which was so overwhelming, and I just thought it was going to stop there, and like I didn't know. Like,
why did you take it down? Because it wasn't making money, and you were like, "Fudge this guy."
Yeah, it was kind of painful to see. It was painful to see because it got to 1 million, and then I got to 4 million. I was like, okay, well, no way could it get more than that. That is so much.
Whoa.
And then it got to 7 million, and then 10 million.
And this is all in what, like a month?
Probably like 3 months. I'm not sure the timeline.
Macaroni.
And then it got all the way to 14 million. And then I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, you know what? I think this video did what it was supposed to do for me. Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to take it down. But now that I think about it, I think I'm going to make it public again. Because
wait, but so we have
I'm not sour about it anymore.
You have like 3 Bob Ross videos. It's not on your channel right now?
No.
Because there's another one with 17 million views on your channel right now.
17?
I think you might, yeah.
Like 7 probably.
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe 7.
Yeah, it's like 8, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I need to do those again.
We have something pulled up here.
Oh, you have something?
Yeah, we're going to play this for you right now. And
this looks like my apartment. Why does this look like my apartment?
I don't know.
Okay, what is this? I'm scared. What is this?
Chris, it's black on our screen right now. But you had it before. It worked before.
Oh my gosh, this is me. Oh my god.
Yeah, so we have a couple of...
No, this is so humiliating. This is too good of you.
We can't hear much here. There we go.
Oh my gosh, this is my first time in New York City.
Yeah, so you want to
I haven't watched this video. These are the pure
I'm ready
days.
for New York. What is it? Wall Street. I will own Central Park. That is my home.
I was so
Something very
extroverted and
devastating
just
is
like
about to
goofy
happen.
then.
Please.
And you were killing
This
it.
is when I had like 50
Absolute
subscribers.
treachery.
I know,
She has dropped
yeah, I feel
her
like I
egg.
understand that. And you were just doing it for fun.
Gross.
But did all your friends know you do this a lot? Maybe mute it, Chris.
Yeah, they were encouraged. They were encouraging of it. Also, it's funny to hear like when people are like, "Oh yeah, I made YouTube videos in high school, and people were so rude to me, and like they made fun of me."
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen to me, and I think that's because people knew I didn't care. And like, if they were that way, I'd be like, why are you being mean?
Yeah, it seems like, again, I don't know you at all, but it seems like you were the person who was not afraid and are not afraid to be yourself.
No.
And you just like wore yourself on your sleeve, which should be the thing. But a lot of people, especially where I come from, private school and like more like that stuff, people, the opposite. I mean, everyone's obsessed with status and image and making sure they seem cool. Like,
yeah. I think I actually would have gotten a negative feedback if people knew that I was making videos to become a YouTuber. Because then it's kind of cringy for people. They're kind of like, oh, like, so you want to achieve this status. Then I think people probably have more of a negative feedback. But like, at least the energy like I brought was just like, oh, this is fun. Let me film you.
You brought it, dog.
I was like, this is so fun.
Your camera died, by the way.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, is that cool?
I actually forgot it was filming.
Yeah, I filmed the whole thing. So we'll have the triple angle. You want to do the first video we had played up?
This is so funny.
The first one on the list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is so funny. You're prepared. You're bringing out some good stuff.
Yeah, we're about to hit you.
Yeah, we basically live together, so that's why I'm whispering. But I want to know what has been. Hi, Anya. We basically live together, so that's why I'm whispering. But I want to know what has been your happiest moment recently. It can be with your career, it can be with life, anything. Love you.
Oh, I love you, Natalia. My happiest moment in life concerning career or anything? This is a deep question.
Yeah, I asked her for a nice juicy one.
That is really sweet. That is so sweet. I think I've just been having happy moments in general. And I think this is something that I've been learning a lot in the past few months and this is like, I'm not sure if it's a cultural mindset, but we have a very strong mindset of always looking towards like the future and the next things and the big accomplishments and like how we'll be more satisfied and more fulfilled and like have more in our hands and under our plate at some point in time. And when I like look back at like the past like 10 years of my life of having this mindset, and it goes back to like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be more productive tomorrow. I'm going to do these more things. I'm going to be like the better version of myself at some point. And that hasn't happened. But like, of course it has. Like I have grown, I have changed, I do have more. Like I am living my absolute biggest dream from my fourth grade self. If I looked at myself right now, I'd be like, damn, like she has everything she ever wanted right now. And but I'm here and like I don't think I do. And like that teaches me like I don't think I ever think I will. And it's just like just have those happy moments now is kind of like, so I think just always, well not always, but like
what about we were talking about too like before how like you're not taking a break or you're struggling to be productive, but also like it sounds like you are taking a break or trying to live more presently or finding that balance, because that's something that resonated with me what you just said, is because like I'm the same way, man. Like my presence, however you meter Richter scale, being present is like I know is lacking because I'm always thinking to the future. I'm always prepping, always planning. Like I'm literally living trying to visually like plot out the future, which I think is important. Again, there's a space for that, especially within business and blah blah blah. But it's like way overbalanced for my whole life, and a lot of the time I can't just sit and just like enjoy the day, or I do enjoy, but it's like it's super important and it's very nebulous to talk about, you know, because it's not. It's another one of my favorite. Word? Nebulous is like, see, like you're gonna fucking.
I would just use context
me.
clues. I'm like nebulous.
Chris, can you look up nebulous right now? I know I'm using it correctly, but it's like it's a perfect big word to sound smart.
I try to shove in some words sometimes, and then I actually think back. I'm like, wait, that wasn't even a word. I just made that up. Well, but this one is a word. No, that's impressive.
Well, like this is like the science word, like a nebulous cloud. But look at unclear, vague, or ill-defined right under it. Perfect. All right, so I nailed that, guys. Come on.
Okay, I'm gonna throw out nebulous some point later.
That's a great word. Nebulous, large, unclear. We're talking about being present is a nebulous concept, but it's really important because like I said, I feel everything that you said, and I struggle with that a lot, especially with the social media life. Yeah. Bunny ears.
Yeah, it is tough, and it's interesting to think how much of it is cultural, and maybe like that's why I love Germany so much, and I think a lot of it has to do with like I'm just being removed from what I know so intimately, and that's like my cultural experience in the United States. But when I was in, like, me being in Germany, like, people just are, like, kind of chilling more. And it really could just be my perspective as a foreigner, and like I'm not so intimately into like I haven't grown up there, like I don't know like all the things that could be like that are wrong and like people don't like about it. But it is just like so strongly in America where we're just like trying to have all these like status. Okay, no, this is my point. That none of that made sense.
No, it
so
did. It
if
totally
you want to
did.
like reframe that later.
It totally did.
But it's funny, like I would be getting to know people in Germany or like going out on dates, and like we don't talk about what we do. We're not talking about our work or our jobs or like what we're doing at school or the next thing that we're accomplishing. Like that's rarely like a conversational topic.
Interesting.
Conversational, is that a word? Someone told me once that that wasn't a word.
Conversational?
Yeah.
Sounds very
Sounds
clear.
like a word to me. Someone told me once that
Look
that's not
it up.
it.
Conversational has to be a word. Well, maybe not. Now that.
Okay.
Oh no, you were gravy.
Okay. All right. I do know some words.
That's a basic word, I'd say.
I know.
But it's a good word.
But it was a word at
It
least.
was a word.
Yeah, it's just like not even a topic of conversation that you have with people because people don't really find it all that interesting.
So what do you say is the topic of conversation? Like, how are you doing? What are you into? What's
yeah,
up?
or just like like talking about other things, and like even now I'm like, what else do we talk about? Because it's just like such a main conversation here
Right
like,
now?
what? Or no, just like in general.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'm thinking, looking back at conversations I've had with other people, like in Germany, I'm like, what else are we talking about? Because I know we're not talking about like work or all these things, but just like other stuff, and that's so refreshing.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think you're right. And I've been to Europe a couple times and everything's a little more mellow there. But also, you have to put in perspective, like, we're in New York, where it's just everyone's on a crackhead
I have to
mentality.
remind myself that I'm like, Anya, well, you are in like the core spot
Epicenter.
of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, like, you seem way chiller than maybe me in my life with, like, being gung-ho about making content. But, like, on top of that, we have that other thing. So it's like we're like the least chill people in society, kind of.
I know. So
no, I'm
like,
kidding. But you
for
could
real,
be.
so like, I'm like, why am I making these type of comparisons? Like, this would be the wrong place to be like, oh my gosh, everyone needs to relax more. Like,
You're right.
No, this is not where you're gonna find those people.
I totally agree though with the people in Europe. Again, I probably haven't had as much experience as you, but I also think you could be that chill, present person anywhere. And I know friends like that who live in the city, who have corporate jobs, who are really mellow and like really enjoy life or don't talk about their work, and they seem like some angelic, like utopian person. But there are people like that. And like, again, you're talking about, I want to be like that, or we're talking about how we don't want to sleep in late, but I want to be like that, but maybe it's just impossible. Like, maybe it's not me.
Maybe we just accept ourselves for who we are.
Yeah, you try to mold so much.
Yeah. That's something that I actually have a bad habit of, is like, I try to like figure out like what type of way I should mold into like situations or where I'm at. And it's very egoistic, because a lot of the times it's like trying to go against the grain. And that's something I do now. I'm like, okay, so everyone's like super into work and they're super into like strategy and like analytics.
And you gotta
like
chameleon yourself into
and I'm
that.
like, I'm not really into that. Like, I know my brain doesn't work like that. So I'm gonna be like cooler and better and like be like, nah, you guys need to chill. And like, that is just my ego. Like, Anya, just relax.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because I talk about with my therapist, like, oh, I have all these things I want to do, and I want to do this, and I feel guilty when I don't do that. And he's like, maybe, like, you'll feel really fulfilled just doing you, and maybe those things you think aren't super helpful, like, are actually fine. And
the
you're
answers
just like,
are usually so simple.
Yeah, and that we're just like crazy rabbit holes spinning around in a spunion, and like it's all good.
Yeah,
just relax.
Crazy rabbit holes. I like that.
I know. Well, yeah.
Spunion? That's a new one.
Spunion.
I really felt that. I really like. I had a whole vision of how you worded that there. I was like, yes.
My brain runs, dude. When I hit the bed at night, the demons come.
Demons come. Nighttime can be a scary time. Nighttime in winter is a very scary time.
Oh, really? You think you get the seasonal depression?
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. This is actually why I'm making the video I'm making today. It's finding peace in the city. And I'm going to go find peaceful little nooks in the city so that I do not get depressed this winter.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
For you to go when it's like gloomy and out. That's cool.
Yeah. I'm really trying to avoid it as much as I can.
I don't think I get seasonal depression. I think that I'm a social creature and I love hanging with people, but like,
that's also the secret sauce too. Socializing, because we are social creatures.
We are. We're
and
social.
like my worst times in my life is when I was isolated. I was like, so I just got to make friends.
But
like,
correct me if I'm wrong. You seem like an independent person that does cool projects, or like you enjoy being by yourself.
I do, but then like too much. And usually it's a spiral because I have like, I like start like isolating myself and then I'm like, oh, I don't feel so well. Maybe I need to be alone more.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what like makes it worse. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like you gotta be around people. I love being around people.
Me too. But I love, like, I feel like I'm a pretty independent person in terms of like, I love the time by myself. Like I cherish it because I could do the things I want. A lot of things I want and love to do. Like I don't want people there, like reading or like painting. And so I'm really excited for this winter specifically. I mean, of course, Chris can join me in my hermit ways, but like I'm excited to just like work. Yeah. And like I've done not a lot of painting since I've been here, and like I'm just excited for like people are partying and I won't get FOMO and everyone's just like going to be depressed and
you're waiting for everyone to just be in their little hermit holes and you're going to be like, okay, I'm not missing out on anything. I'm going to do my thing.
And I don't usually have FOMO, but what I'm saying is I'm excited to have the time to myself to just paint my dog. Yeah.
That's something I really admire about you is you are consistently making things and consistently painting. And it's very clear to see like where you're, okay, words are failing me.
I'm ready for this whatever compliment.
Man, where you thrive, like where your thing is, like what is it called? Like just the golden nugget.
Yeah, my
the
passion,
stuff you love.
Yeah, no, and like I feel very lucky because I know that. And like it's with the YouTube now, but it's something that I don't care about, I don't need it for people to like my work. I don't sell much work. Of course I want my videos to do well, but that's like the business category. The core passion of painting is like so personal and internal that I'm like, you
can really see it. You just you love to paint.
Well, I'm not trying to like again pedestal myself, but I'm just saying like
do it.
I feel lucky that I have that outlet that like I really love it, and like I don't care about anything or anyone. It's just like I'm trying to paint, and now I have all these awesome projects. That reminds me, we're not going to say it on the podcast, but I have a really that I've been thinking about for like over a year, this painting project. But if you're willing, I would love you to help me and actually model for me for it in this really epic thing that I'll show you later. But maybe you'd be interested in do that.
I want to see. I'm gonna
tangent.
Yes. I'm gonna go back to what you were saying about how you feel blessed to be doing, to like know what you love. Mm-hmm. I was in the cafe. Oh my gosh, strangers teach me so much. It is so
strangers. Oh, okay.
It is actually very beneficial to over listen. Is that what it's called? Over listen?
Sure.
Oh my gosh, I need to go back to college because like
you're being so articulate and wonderful. You're
these
great.
things are getting in the way.
You're just overthinking
where
it.
I'm just like not getting where I'm like this is just getting in the way. I need more streamline of stuff.
I think you've been doing great.
But strangers teach me a lot, and I think I should be overhearing people's conversations more. Like I need to go like peek in on what they're saying. Eavesdrop. Yeah, what? Why couldn't I think of that word? Because I was in the cafe and I actually saw this girl earlier when I was in line getting my croissant, and she had these like really cool anime tattoos, and the cashier complimented her on them. I was like, oh, what a cool person. And at that point, this person is just like okay, cool person. You've got cool tattoos. Like you're just kind of like a frame. You're a little box in my story lifeline, and like I'm gonna forget about you, and that'll be that. And you were just there. And then she turns into more because I sit on the couch and she comes and sits next to me and she's talking to the friend that's sitting like on the other side, and she's like going down this huge mental spiral of thoughts. And then I see that like, okay, you're not just a stranger box with some cool anime tattoos anymore. And she's talking about like, oh, I don't know what to do with my life. Like everything makes me want to die. Like all this, like me doing this lawyer stuff, it makes me want to die. Should I be a lawyer? Should I be a politician? Like I hate it all. My boss is so mean. It just makes me want to die. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And I'm 25. Like, what am I doing? And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like sitting there. I'm like doing my work. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I want to give you a hug. Yeah. And then she's got this like super helpful friend there that's like giving her all this really good advice. Nice. And I could really recognize the type of mindset she was in at that time. And it's where you like reframe anything anyone says and any thought you have into like a negative perspective. Or just like anything you say or anything anyone does, you're gonna like be like, oh no, but like think about it like this, like it sucks like this and that, but I don't know about this and what about this. And it's like, oh my gosh, like okay, we're kind of similar. Like you're a human being too. Like,
yeah, and I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, we're on the same page. Okay, like I've totally been there before, and it really woke me up just like how blessed I am to know like I'm on a path that I really enjoy, and that I'm doing things I really enjoy, and that I don't have to like tackle my brain all the time being like, oh, is this right for me or not? And that's like a really big blessing. Like you have your painting, like you know that's
Totally. And I
You
feel like
know
it's
that's
a
your
lottery.
thing.
I mean, minus money, minus anything. Like it's you're so right. But the question
Yeah.
is, because that's like an important injecting mindset that everyone should have, sort of just being grateful, maybe to sum up that mega rant, Anya.
Was that a mega
No,
rant?
but it was epic.
I was
It
trying to be
beautiful.
super speedy
I'm
about
kidding. I'm kidding. It was,
That was amazing.
no, it
Thank
was
you.
amazing. I was kidding.
Okay,
I'm
I was
making fun
like,
of
okay,
you.
make this fat, make this fat.
But the question is, it's like, how do you cultivate being grateful all the time? Because you can't do it every
Yeah.
day, or like, I don't know about you,
Yeah.
but it's really hard. Like
It
you have to
is.
really remind yourself. You
It
get
is.
stuck in the just the red tape of
Yeah.
life, and like this
Yeah.
is this, and then everything becomes relevant. So it's like
Mhm.
a millionaire, you know,
Mhm.
still has issues and is still allowed to complain about things, even though, you know, someone
Yeah.
from the outside is like, how could you complain? You're a millionaire, or whatever success
Yeah.
analogy you want to give. So it's like, that's a question that I always ask myself. It's like, how do I continuously and consistently sort of cultivate being grateful?
Yeah.
And
It's a daily practice.
yeah, I think so
And
too.
this reminds me, most of my little like nitbits of information that I can say are just from random TikToks that I've seen. And one of them is a recent TikTok that I've seen is like, it was someone reading a book, some like spiritual book, and they're like, it's easier for people to complain and have this negative perspective on life and like revert to thinking that things aren't going their way and that like their lives suck. Like that is such an easier like little framing of your surroundings. But if you can step outside of that and like consistently look for the things that are going your way and that are good and that you are grateful for, like, that is so much more powerful.
Mhm.
And the thing is like, and the TikTok said is like, we think there's going to be a reward for being negative. Like we think there's going to be a payoff, like this weird mindset where like, if I like shit on my life right now and if I feel terrible about it, like somehow it's going to turn into something. I don't really know
No, I
like
hear
how to
you.
put that into words, but it's like as if it's somehow benefiting us to make ourselves feel awful.
Or it's maybe like a dopamine chemical reaction where like complaining makes you feel comfortable, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But you're right. I
Just
completely
like what you're
understand what you're
used to.
saying.
Yeah, and when it won't, like it's not going to bring you anything
No.
other than like more misery.
And also,
Um,
there's I think I was just talking about my roommate with this, not to piggyback your tangent, but like that is a really important thing of your in total mental health is like if your like first reaction is negative or you use like certain words like I should do this or I should have, like those are like
yeah.
immediately going to make you unhappy and, you know, not feel you know, like confident and like happy about yourself. So just the first interactions, even little things like your mindset is like really important. And like I think, again, I don't know how to solve it, or I'm not some like
Mhm.
therapist, psychologist, but like what are the strategies to like change it to be more positive or whatever?
I had that this morning actually because
What?
I usually want to like I have to like build myself up to take out the camera now, which is really sad, and that's not how it
Interesting.
used to
You've
be.
been doing like you're a freaking natural here.
Thank you. I really like there's a lot
Bringing
of build
two
up to it.
cameras to
Yeah,
the
I came
studio.
prepared. I got the handy cam. I got that camera.
Hell yes.
Pulling it up, getting in the background. Shots. But I was like, yeah. So this morning I had to like build myself up to filming, and I'm like putting the camera there. I'm like, but then I was like, wait, I don't have to be miserable right now. I don't have to be miserable right now. Like, I'm the only one making myself miserable and like
Mhm.
making a big deal out of this, and like, oh, I don't feel good doing all this. Like, I could totally be like, yay, doing this and that, and like, then this would be a more enjoyable experience. Like,
Yep, 100%.
So yeah, those little moments are really nice to be like, oh wait, I don't have to be like depressed inside.
Yeah,
right
and
now.
I mean, maybe just try to focus on, like you were saying, when you were super happy when you were younger, making videos just for shits and gigs.
Mm-hmm. Just for funsies.
Funsies.
Also, one thing to do with that. I don't know how long this has been going on for.
I don't know, how long has it been?
Like 53
Oh, we're
minutes.
chilling. We're
Okay.
chilling.
Oh yeah, I remember like watching YouTube videos and people were always like, oh, I started out with me making videos as an 8-year-old and I have this huge collection of all these things I used to do and it was my passion and it was so hard for me because I had to pull out this and that and like it was such a struggle, but I knew it was like my thing. And I think that's encouraging and that's great. But also when when I hear this, and maybe this is just like the insecure side of me, it makes me like, oh my gosh, like I didn't do that when I was younger or this or that and have this like drive from a young age. Maybe I'm not like cut out for this. And I thought that in like 7th grade when I would watch YouTubers and they're like, yeah, I was doing
That's so
this when I was like
crazy.
5 and which is encouraging. That's great. But I think just like just throwing a nit bit of advice for whoever's listening. Like you don't need to have started somewhere or had this like build up of things that you've done to do something. Like you can just do it and there you are. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
But I think it's like we were saying before, not to beat a dead horse, it's like impossible for people in this social media world, especially younger people. They can't just make stuff without this agenda and inclination to I hope a million people see it.
Like
it's
people
so
tell
sad.
me that and it actually like makes me
It's like
I'm not an angry
impossible.
person, but that kind of makes me angry when people are like that. They're like, oh, I would upload this video, but I don't have tons of fans watching.
But
and
how
I'm like,
else would it be?
then
Like,
the intention is wrong.
our
Then like
world is centered around it. Like it's innate. Think of the kids who are 8, 9, 10 years old today. They're screwed.
yeah,
Well, you know what I mean?
'cause
Like
the
you're
goal-
way
that's
younger
what
than
they
me,
see.
but
Yeah.
like you still have a good normal head on your shoulders and you probably knew the world before social media. But the kids nowadays, dude, like I can't imagine. I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
It's awesome and epic, but a lot of
It's like most of your-
toxicity.
Yeah, it is sad. I don't know how that's going to impact them because it's like now they think a lot of their decisions they do on a daily basis on the internet are
Mhm.
like for this agenda that they may or may not reach. And even if they do, like, it's not going to solve your problems. And actually sad, like I was really close with this one kid. I haven't like talked to him in a few years and he's like family friends and he just DM'd me the other day and he's like, oh, look at this cool ring I made. And I was like, I don't know. I just got the feeling like he wasn't just texting me to like show me this cool ring he made.
100% not.
And I was like, this is sad. Like I
Yeah.
haven't talked to you, like, I don't know, you're probably like 13 now. Like, I wonder how life's going, but he just wants to show me this cool ring he made so that I might be like, well, I'll put it on my story.
Yeah, of course.
Like, man.
It's sad, especially the ear size. But yeah. Chris, do we have anything else that we want to show? Anya.
Yeah, what would you
Did I
like?
say it wrong?
I want to see a little bit more of this New York vlog. That was
We have another one. This one.
oh
And then we already
my
kinda talked
first
about
time in
this.
Germany. This was
I'm really
like
excited.
wow,
It's
this is
crazy to
before
think
all
that
these things
I'm
happened.
here because I submitted my application for it and I was like, oh, I don't really want to do this. But then I did end up doing it and here I am in Germany and I'm living here for a year. But just with all like the
tears to
crazy
my
events that
eyes.
have happened,
This is a really deep
I
moment
don't
that I
think
wanted
I've
to say.
really given myself the time or the chance to just kind of think about it. I hate holding my phone. Good. It's really crazy because I don't know, like people could call me a YouTuber. What? Sorry, that's weird. And like
I
me
still
and my
think that's
fourth grade
weird.
self dreamt of like making
Yeah.
art and videos and just doing my thing, and it kind of happened. No, it did. I don't know. It's crazy. Like you never think it's gonna happen
was
to
2
you.
years ago,
Crazy stuff
wow.
like that might happen, but not.
And this seems like
me,
a very
but
like
it did, and it is.
just
And I'm in
venting about the
Germany,
blow up
I
and-
get to make videos about
Yeah.
being here.
And now you're here and
art
it is kind of your
and
life
that's
a little.
crazy, but I haven't really, like,
It's
gone
funny to think like the
about
things
it
I'm
because
saying there,
it
like I
happened.
literally said today too.
That's what I'm saying.
like I have the same thoughts.
I know.
That actually shows like I haven't changed much. Like
Which
I
is
look back, I'm like,
good,
oh, it's so different.
But it's
I'm
like you're
no.
pure. I'm not to make you trying to paint you out like some angel of pure passion and just doing
Yeah.
exactly what you want. But like clearly, you're in it for the reasons of just like fulfilling your creative.
Yeah,
And we kind of have to end soon, but we didn't really talk about like your interests and like because I know you love fashion and I know you love like makeup stuff and glam and like.
I love that you know that. That's so.
Oh, we do our research here on SLEWNIVERSE for the millions of people
Like
watching.
honestly, I really want to be putting.
Look what I
more
wrote
stuff out
here.
there.
20-year-olds old from Wisconsin, bruh.
Wisconsin.
But maybe we'll end on this, and this will be like a nice little
Okay.
10-minute enders. Like, what we talked about, how you feel about social media, and like doing things you want, and not like bowing to the algorithm and whatever. But like, what are your plans? Like, you're so young. Again, it's so funny that we're talking about this and how you feel stressed out because you shouldn't, because you're so young and you have your whole life. But like, you have goals? You have exciting projects you want to do? You're in New York.
Yeah, I think I just want to be more
What's next?
consistent. Really, just consistency, because I suck at that. And painting again. I wanna a Patreon. I want to
Cool.
do that. I like have been meaning to for months, and then I just like doesn't happen. But I want to get into that.
So give me some details. We mean consistent with what? Because it's with your
It's like uploading weekly.
So your content. So
I don't
sharing
even
your
know
life.
if that's possible. I don't even know if I've ever even uploaded weekly.
You can do it.
But I know like I waste my time all the time, and that time can go towards something way more fulfilling. And this doesn't have to be with like. And I think I push back because I'm like, I don't want to become like the driven, just focus on productivity and like work is my life. Like nah. But like. I waste my time all the time. Like it can go to something a little bit better. So
I agree.
Yeah, I want to upload more consistently. I want to start making art again. Like I have like such fun ideas, and I really miss just like doodling and making things. And I think that's why I stopped, is because there was like pressure of it being something or like leading up to something. Because the only reason I was really into art is because I was really bored in school, and I just like doodled, and like that was my thing, and that was fun for me. And then it was like there was nothing that I was bored of anymore. So I didn't doodle or like make art anymore.
I see.
Yeah, consistency and making paintings again.
Well, that's exciting. I mean, you can come here anytime you want, get messy. Like seriously,
Really?
this place
That'd be
is
so fun.
for all my friends who are awesome to get messy and wild, especially more painters. And like, I'm not trying to toot your horn, but like you're seriously have skills in art. So I would totally, as someone, just biasly be like, you should keep doing it because you seem like you enjoy it and you're pretty good and have like awesome skills.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have fallen off. Shame.
It is a shame. It is a really shame. I miss it.
No, I mean, it's that's the thing I think most people get removed from creative outlets is like they have a bad experience or they have this like it needs to live up to something and it never does. And so they're like, oh, I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to try that again, which is a bummer for a lot of people.
Yeah, you just got to keep doing it if you like it. And really, it's like the flow, like I read about, just like getting into your like zone in the moment. Like that's what makes me love it, is like I will lose track of time for hours, but it's like something that I really enjoyed. Like those hours were so fun.
Yeah, another way to think about that I think would perhaps help you take everything I say with a grain of salt, but put it like as a practice. This is my practice. Whether it's like mental health or like a practice needs to be consistent and I enjoy it. I want to get better at it, but I also want to do it because I enjoy it, you know? So it's like, this is my practice, whether that's
those
once
habits,
a week.
those routines, those are important. That's another thing. Yeah.
I know everything is what I'm trying to say. No, please. I feel like I sound such an idiot telling people what to do, but
no, that's actually great to hear.
That's like, how I kind of think of those things that help me out.
Yeah. It's just those like routine things. Like, this is my thing.
But
this
you got it, dude. Consistency, like, go buck wild. You can do it.
Thank you. That's actually so encouraging.
You can, dude. You're an expert. Like, it's would be hard for someone who doesn't know the ins and outs of how it works. And obviously your videos are like heavy editing and it's a lot of footage, but like, you got it.
Thank you. Oh, that's so encouraging.
Anything else, Chris?
So
you have any questions? Or?
I got it. We got it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, also,
yeah.
Don't like relax. You're not going back to college, are you?
I think I might in a couple years.
Really?
To Germany.
That will be our
I'll
next
go in Germany.
interview.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna go to Germany?
If I do go to school, I think I'll go in Germany.
Can you say some German for us right now? I love the language. I really do.
Yeah, it'll be simple because I can't really think of anything creative.
Be like, I had a wonderful conversation with this genius artist and his genius.
Oh gosh, I don't even know if I can say that.
Can you say subscribe to the SLEWNIVERSE podcast?
I don't even. Okay, I'm gonna butcher. I don't think I'm gonna say it right.
I don't mean to like.
Okay, hallo. Ich hoffe, dass du eine gute Zeit hast. Bitte zum the podcast abonnierten. That was wrong. That was so wrong, but I tried.
Pretty cool.
Das war falsch, aber ich habe es versucht. Ich versuche es. Okay, tut mir leid, mein Deutsch sollte besser sein. Aber es funktioniert. Ich glaube, dass du mich verstehen kannst.
What she said. Thanks, everybody.
Tschüssi.
That's it.